Um, so I'm gonna do a quick introduction again. Hey, Alicia.
How are you today?
I am well, y'all. This is take two. Hey, everyone. We are now recording, and so we just wanted to say again, welcome to the chat with Alicia and Sharon. We're not sure how often we will do this, but we felt it was necessary for you to know who we were. The two women behind the Let Go Facebook group. This was something that was on Alicia's heart. And I was like, okay, let's do it. Not figuring out how we were going to make the time. But as you can see, we've been making it work.
Yes.
So clearly it was needed and necessary. And we've gotten a lot of feedback in regards to the group. And so we're just glad that you're with us this evening. And so without further ado, I say let's just start chatting if unless you have some intro stuff that you want to share, Mrs. Dalton.
No, I do have a few things to say, but one of the things as I prepared for this today, I thought, what's something that I could say to help motivate? And I stumbled across this quote. It says, "Without forgiveness, life is governed by an endless cycle of resentment and retaliation." And I thought to
Mm,
myself, ooh, that's a stinky way to live, right? So
yeah.
I think that's part of the reason why I wanted to do the group is because I really want the Let Go to be a forgiveness movement, right? And I wanted to create a community, us to create a community that was safe and for people to share and for people to find motivation and encouragement about forgiveness because I just think it's so important. Once the light comes on that forgiveness is a good thing, your
Yeah.
life changes. And
Yeah.
so I wanted to share some bits and pieces, and I wanted you to share some bits and pieces about the forgiveness journey, what it looks like, why it's so important. And
Mhm.
so that's why I'm here to share
Awesome.
and inspire and motivate.
Awesome. And I'm glad to be on this journey with you. So without further ado, guys, we're gonna go ahead and go on to the next slide. And this is where we get to hear from Alicia a little bit more, where she talks about who she is. You're getting the snippet, but she's gonna share a little bit more about who she is and who God has created her to be.
So again, my name is Alicia Dalton. I am a wife and a mother of three amazing children. Professionally, my background is healthcare administration, where I've worked in the behavioral health field for a lot of years, a lot of years. And my focus really is to just create programming and help clinics thrive and provide quality services for the basically the underserved. That's my passion, is serving the underserved. I think that when you are running a clinic, you want it to be an environment where people can thrive. And so that's really my heart's desire, is for people to go to therapy and it be a good experience. And so that's what I do. But personally, I love to travel. I love coffee. And when I travel, I cannot wait till we can travel again. I love to go travel abroad and try coffee in different places. So that's a little bit about me.
Mhm. And she didn't say it, but it's something she always talks about. She loves her husband, and she is an amazing wife, and she loves to cook, and she makes the bomb granola, like the only granola in the universe that I will eat. I don't even like granola, but I'll eat that.
Yes, I
Like,
do like to cook and bake, and my boo thing. I love my boo thing. Yes, I do. That's
yeah. So that is Alicia, everyone. Um, and I am Sharon J. Lawrence, wife, bonus mom slash step mom of two amazing individuals, one an adult and one a little person, and a super awesome bonus grandma. And so I'm super excited. And I have nieces and nephews. I can't forget y'all because you all will put me in a major headlock. And godchildren galore, who are all like my own, and the wife of Chief Lawrence. And so I'm also a therapist for therapists, professionals, and couples, co-author of the Let Go, six-time author, speaker, trainer, and adjunct professor at Bowie State University and Prince George's Community College. And I'm just excited to be with you all tonight. And so I say, let's do this. Let's talk about forgiveness, y'all.
Awesome, awesome godmother. She didn't tell enough. When Sharon would tell me different things she would do for her godparent, her godchildren, I'd be like, man, you're a good godmama. So you do that well too.
Thank you. You know, one of the things that I just shared yesterday on live during It's All Business show that I had not shared publicly, but only with some people privately. A few of you may know that's on. But we recently moved to Florida, so that creates a challenge for me that I don't get to see my godchildren as often, or my nieces and nephews. I'm actually further away. However, I am closer to my grandbaby now, so it there's some perks to it, but it does create a challenge with the distance and with COVID-19 and just trying to manage through life in general. So, but yes, we are now. I tell people I'm both. I'm Floridians and I'm a Marylander, right? Even though I'm originally from New York City, but I've been in Maryland so long. It's home. You know, it's home for me. But
Yeah.
yeah, we have relocated. We have moved, and it's official. So, all
Hmm. I'm
right.
still trying to get my mind around that, but so I'll be fine. I'll get over it.
He's trying to get my mind around. I'm here and I'm still trying to get my mind around. So like, I'm mad at you. I'm like, what you want me to do? I don't know what you want me to do. But yeah, I'm still trying to figure out. Every day I wake up, I'm like, where am I? Where am I?
Oh.
So is that? Yes, New York, Tiffany, New York, Harlem, and Flushing. I am a New York girl. Been gone a while, but my family's still there, siblings there, nieces, nephews. Yep,
Hmm.
growing. Yep, New York. I will always represent. All right. So, y'all, enough about me. Let's talk about forgiveness. Y'all like the PowerPoint? Look at that. Okay. So, one of the things, Alicia, that I thought about for tonight is that I think some people think that forgiveness means that you have to put yourself back into situations and relationships, and that it means that you are to forget that which you've gone through. And I think that that is one of the biggest, if we can call it a myth, biggest myths out there, because I think, one, you should know what you have gone through, you should remember it, so that you can remember what to do in the future and what not to do. But also, it teaches you how to set boundaries. It teaches you how to respect yourself. There are so many lessons that you can take away um, from any experience that you have been involved in. But it also teaches you to live whole when you choose to forgive, as we often tell the group members, because by holding on to it, it's like, eating poison and wishing the other person to die. And so you have to be mindful of how you maneuver. But it really is about living whole so that you walk in peace, that you walk in love. But it doesn't mean you have to have the same level of connection to that individual. Your connection actually looks very different in some cases when you choose to forgive. And in some cases, it's a matter of forgiving so that you can move forward, but they still may be miles and states or whatever away, that you never ever have to come in contact with them again, but your heart is right.
Right.
And I
Right.
think, so that was one of the things that I really thought about for tonight, because that seems to be the biggest challenge that I see a lot of people struggle with.
Hmm. Hmm. I think I struggled with it too. I had an incident that happened to me, and the person wanted me to forgive them, and of course, you're supposed to forgive, right? But we don't really know what the process looks like. And I remember
Mhm.
asking a lady, because the person had really betrayed me. And I said, well, you know, do I have to forget? What does that look like? What is this forgiveness thing going to look like? Because I don't want that person around me anymore. It's not safe, right? And I wanted to preserve myself, but I just didn't really know the steps. And she said to me, listen, you forgive, right? You do that. That's the right thing to do, but you don't have to allow the person in your space again. You don't have to. What she said to me is, you don't have to grace that person with your presence anymore. But what you
Mhm.
do have to do for yourself is forgive so you can move on. And, I just began to set my intentions on forgiveness, and really the byproduct of really forgiving is peace and joy. And you can experience life the way God intended us to, right? I kept thinking, like, if I hold on to resentment and anger, bitterness, and even sadness, that it would hold me back from what God had for me. And I knew that He had a plan for me that was, good, right? But I just wanted to dismiss those feelings so that I can really experience it the way, like you say, wholeness, the way God wanted me to. So, and once I
Mhm.
did that, things just began to open up.
Mhm.
Blessings on top of blessings on top of blessings just began to overflow. It's just been amazing. So I never thought that I would be a part of writing a book about it, but oh my goodness, how important, you know, is I just feel like the work that we put into the book is so valuable, so needed, and so important. So I feel humbled, and I feel very thankful to be able to share some of my experiences to help someone else.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
And that's a really good point. I think the other piece of that is that when you do it for one person, you find it easier along the way to put it into
amen. Amen. Yes, that is so true.
almost like the first time you do it, you're kind of in shock. Um, and you're like, wait, I'm not angry. It's like, okay. And it really does shock you. And then that's when you realize it's like, oh, let me let me just settle. Let me keep moving. And
Yeah.
you really do start to maneuver differently in your
Mhm.
relationships. Now, don't get me wrong, it doesn't mean, and Alicia can attest to this, it doesn't mean that you're not going to be upset. It doesn't mean that you're not going to be angry. It doesn't mean that you're not going to even be in a phase where you don't want to forgive, but you
Yeah.
won't stay there as long as you normally would. Even
Hmm.
and it might be something severe, you may release them just so that you can move forward freely.
Yeah.
And it's just different. Each go around is different. When people say, "Well, I keep going through the same thing," my question is, okay, well, what are you supposed to learn from it? What is it that you need to do different? If you keep doing the same thing, you're not going to get a different result.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so,
Yeah. I think one of the things that I really want too is forgiveness to, like, almost be contagious.
mhm,
And my son today said something that really made me so proud. And it's, some people may think it's small, but it showed me that he too understands what forgiveness is. And he too understands how to extend grace,
mhm,
to and mercy towards someone. We were talking about someone, and I had shared with him something that had happened to another person, and he said, "Wow, you just never know what happens to someone and why they are bitter." And he said, "I always thought that person was mean, but it was the person's experience that our experiences shape us for the negative or the positive, right?" And so what I love that he said is, I understand her. He said, "I understand her now." I said, "I'm so happy you said that." So, because that person shouldn't have to leave a legacy or remembrance about bitterness. No one wants to be remembered as bitter old something. So I was just happy that he had that thought process about it.
mhm. Yeah. And that's good. It makes you think about when people are like that, it's a protective mechanism.
It is.
Protect themselves from further hurt. And
Yes.
also, you got to look at the bigger picture. We're so quick to kind of form judgment
Yeah.
based on that first encounter, but you never know what someone is holding on to,
Hmm.
that behavior.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's good stuff.
And
We
even if
have
you just lead with that, if you lead with that mindset, it's so much easier to forgive too.
absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yep.
And we have some, Tiffany says, absolutely. Forgiveness allows you to let go, move on, and have peace. Kat, hey, Kat. Kat says, awesome. And then Tiffany says, our children are amazing. They teach us and practice forgiveness and understanding more than we give them credit for. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. That is so true.
Yeah.
Hey,
Abs-
Kat.
This is awesome. And so, this is major. As Alicia said, we want this to be a movement. We want it to be contagious. But most and foremost, we want it to be a true testament to your healing
Hmm.
and the journey that you commit to.
Yeah.
So that you can walk in peace. And we're not talking about just major stuff. We're talking about the simplest of things.
Yes.
Someone, giving you side eye in the supermarket, like just choosing not to hold on to stuff, because things that you choose to give your energy to, that's where your focus is going to go. And where your focus goes, that's where your energy is going to go to. And those things are going to then shape your view of things. And you don't want to be in that mindset where you
Hmm.
harbor unforgiveness continuously, thinking it's everyone else when it may be you holding on and shaping how your experiences are going to be because of that anger.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that because we pick up offenses. We just pick it up like it's, a piece of chicken. Just pick it up.
Mhm.
Like,
No, not chicken. We're not going to use chicken. Chicken is good. Oh, no, don't put chicken. No, no, no. Can we
we
go?
pick it up. I don't know. But we pick it up, but you can choose not to. And an example I want to give is, what did you just say? The person who flips you off or gives you side eye, the person with the
Mhm.
road rage. You can
Yeah.
choose to not pick up that offense, right? Because
Mhm.
once you pick the offense up, that's where you start feeding the unforgiveness immediately. It starts, and then it becomes a cycle. Then you pick up an offense. If you pick up an offense every day,
Mhm.
what kind of life is that? So it's a
Right.
choice to, and the goal is to just live a peaceful whole life, right? So I'm glad you brought up that example.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
One of the things, I put up the statement that's in the back of the book. Um, And it says, everyone at some point in their life will experience joy, happiness, peace, as well as disappointment, pain, rejection, and possible trauma. Um, your experiences impact you emotionally, physically, and spiritually, making it difficult to determine how to maintain the momentum to thrive or let go of those things that do not have value.
Hmm. Hmm.
And every time I see that statement, I think about how much have we invested in things that don't have any value.
Yeah.
And it robs us continuously to
Mhm.
hold on to stuff
Yeah.
that doesn't matter.
Yes.
It just doesn't matter anymore. And half the time the incident doesn't even have any strength, but we may give it strength
Yeah.
because of how we talk about it and how we choose to talk about it.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Yeah. And
it
we don't want to let those things hold us hostage. You know,
mhm.
the other thing I think about too is, you said it can affect you physically. And we reference that a lot when we do these talks, but I think it's important, that when you have a lot of unforgiveness, it can make you physically sick.
Mhm.
And I forgot the doctor's name, but he is over the Cancer Center of America, and
Mhm.
he incorporates something called forgiveness therapy. He says that
Mm.
one of the questions that he always asks his patients: do you have some sort of unforgiveness? He
Right.
said, because if you do and you don't let it go, you're going to stay sick. And
That's
I thought,
right.
wow, that was so cool that a doctor got that, and that he actually incorporates forgiveness therapy in his treatment. And what is the name of the book
Mhm.
that we reference a lot too? Your body.
The body
Yeah.
keeps
It,
score. I had to turn around and find it, y'all. So if y'all saw my crooked parts and the grades messed up, it was worth it. But I had to turn around because I talk about this book all of the time. The Body Keeps the Score by Bessel van der Kolk. But also for my clinicians out there, many of you, I know you're probably familiar with the ACEs questionnaire, the adverse childhood experiences. And that questionnaire, they have one for children, but they also have one for adults, where you answer questions based on the experiences you had prior to your 18th birthday. And for every point on that scale, it represents a level of ailment or illness that can be manifested in your body because of the trauma. And so when
yeah.
you hold on to things, you literally, it has to go somewhere. If you're not releasing it and you're not allowing the that catharsis or the cathartic moment to take place. Like when people cry, we always want to stop them from crying. No, don't stop them from crying.
Uh-huh.
Let them cry. Let them be in that moment. That's healing.
Yeah.
Be in that place. There is nothing wrong with tears.
Yeah.
I even learned, you know, in my practice, I'll tell people I put the tissue on the desk. I don't point out that the tissue is there. I don't move it closer because that's a disruption to their healing. They see
Yeah.
the tissue. They got two eyes, and if they have glasses, they have four. And so, I let them go through their process. And so, whatever's
Mhm.
in your body, believe it or not, there are people who have stuff that literally has dissipated when they were able to move beyond the trauma.
Yeah, there's even studies out there where they studied tear drops and they
Yeah.
found toxicity in the tears.
Hmm.
So let that stuff out. You know,
Hmm.
it's good to
Let it
cry. That's probably, listen, that's the cheapest therapy is cry it
and
out.
try it out. Go for a walk. Journal.
Yeah.
Knit. Crochet. Draw. Color. Anything coming out through your hands.
Oh, that's good.
It's therapeutic.
Mm.
And so allow yourself to relieve a lot of that stuff. It's healing.
Oh, so
And
that's
so
what gardening. Gardening is therapeutic. That's why I love to cook. That's therapeutic. Bake. That's a good point.
yeah,
Mhm.
you have to be mindful. You have to be creative on your journey as well, because it if you say to yourself, well, it's just been there so long, but you're ready to kind of let go, you're going to have to look for
Mhm.
things that are healthy distractions as you start to let stuff go so that you can start gaining greater and more positive attachments. That's going to be necessary for your healing as well. I don't want you to sit back and then start thinking about how you forgave 100% of the time. No, you want to be able to move on once you let that stuff go so that you
Yeah.
can focus on other things that are positive and that benefit, your life overall.
Mhm. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Any questions in the chat?
Nope. Crystal Lynn says that's true. She also wrote, "Uh-oh, I don't know what part, but it might have been about the chicken or was about the body and how it holds on to stuff."
Hey,
And
Crystal.
we end up robbing ourselves. Yes. And she also said yes, aces. So yeah, so we got some clinicians on here: Tiffany, Crystal, Kalima, um Angie has kind of shifted though. She's now a teacher, so she has gotten the best of both worlds,
Okay, good.
social worker and now being an educator. Oh, you heard the New York educator.
Yeah.
Educator. So but yes, so that's
Yeah.
what else we got? What else we got? Any questions, guys? Come on, talk to us this evening. We're not going to be on here too long, but we want to talk with you for a little bit. All right. Let's see.
trying to see if I had anything, any note here, but I just was gonna say too, at its very core, um, forgiveness. We talked about mercy. Forgiveness is really just granting mercy. At its
Yeah.
very core. You know, and
Mhm.
once you move in that direction, it's just so freeing.
Yeah.
It's so freeing.
Yeah.
And I
Absolutely.
do.
I
I
agree.
think something too. It's like I we've been forgiven. You know, um, God has forgiven us. So why wouldn't we extend forgiveness? We're supposed
Mhm.
to, try to do the godly thing, right? So
Mhm.
that's another way of thinking about it. It's like, hey, you know what? I've been forgiven. And also, listen, you're gonna need forgiveness one day too. So may as well extend it because you're gonna need it one day too. So
And the reality is that most of us probably need it right now.
come on.
Um, so many times we don't even know that we are offending people.
Ooh,
We don't
yes.
realize that, our actions impact someone else. And so
Mm-hmm.
it's not just about your process of forgiving people. You have to make sure that how you manage yourself and how you engage with others, that you're mindful of your offenses.
Yes, that's the
Right.
good stuff.
It's
Yep.
like God, give us this day our daily bread as we forgive those who trespass against us. And
Yeah.
so when you go through all that, you got to realize you're praying for your own offenses as well.
Yes,
You know,
exactly.
just what
Yeah.
happened to you.
Mm-hmm.
And so you got to be mindful of that. Tiffany says, what did you find most challenging when writing this book in terms of forgiveness of yourself and others? Um, I'll say for me, I think it was the awareness of how big this journey has been, because you don't realize how much you have encountered. You've been through some situations where you've been hurt, but you also realize you've been in some situations where maybe you hurt someone else. So I think it was a matter of just dealing with that, and it was scary, honestly,
Yeah.
because as I started writing, I always tell people Alicia went real deep, and I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm not ready. I'm not ready for that much exposure. And so I made sure that it was like, okay, there had to be balance. So
Yeah.
I'm on that light end of the spectrum, and Alicia went way on the
I
high
did.
end
I
of
did.
the. So I
Yeah.
think that was the good balance, because I didn't have to match her level of severity. And I think what that did was allow people to see themselves in different points in their journey.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but I think initially it was scary, but it was still scary because I shared stuff that we shared real life stuff,
Yeah.
which means that somebody reading, they're going to know it's them that we're referring to. Um, but they can also see that we no longer hold on to that pain or that hurt.
That's right. That's right. I think one of the things that really got me during the process is just the reflection. It's like, ooh, I've been through a whole lot. And then I even remembered I was able to connect. I don't want to give too much away, but I was able to connect something that I struggled with my
Mhm.
entire from teenage to adult because it brought back to my remember something that happened. I was like, oh, that's why I do this.
Mhm. I remember that phone call.
Oh, yes. I was like, oh my gosh. So it
Mhm.
just turned in the project turned into something way more than I expected. I didn't
Mhm.
have an expectation to learn more things about myself,
Right.
but I
Right.
did. So it's been a humbling, rewarding process. And I'm
Mhm.
just so thankful to be on this side of the thing where I'm able to help somebody else. That's such a
Right.
blessing to me. It warms my heart that I can do that.
Mhm. Yep.
So,
And I think, like you said, the reflection piece of it,
hmm
because moment, you're recalling a lot, even though you've forgiven, you're recalling, but
Wow.
you're also trying to still speak life to yourself that you've overcome
Yeah.
um, those experiences, because it's almost like for a quick moment, you're reliving some things
Yeah.
because are telling it, and it's like some in your mind, especially when you have to read it. We're the editors, so we're reading constantly over and
Mhm.
over, and it's like whew.
Right.
And it was a lot, but we knew it was going to help someone.
Yeah. One guy, I don't, he reached out to me, I think on LinkedIn, and he said, "Oh, I'm going to get your book for my nieces." And you know what? You probably know what I said, Sharon. How old are they?
Right.
Please do this, because it's not for a 7-year-old to read. So he said, "Oh,
Yep.
they're in their 20s." I said, "Okay, perfect. Get the book for your nieces then. That's perfect." But yeah,
Mhm.
because there's some hard stuff in there.
Yeah. Yeah. And you have to be ready. And for some people, prepare yourself, because maybe reading this, um, we know that some of you are probably primarily purchasing the book or have purchased the book in support of us, and we appreciate everyone who has done so. But if you sit, yeah, if when you sit down and read it, be mindful that it may scratch the surface of some areas in your life that you've kind of started to bury, or you buried some time ago and you didn't realize it was still a part of who you are. And so be mindful of that and allow yourself to go through that journey of healing. Don't put the book down. If you need to pause, take a pause, but come back to it, because this is not a telltale, like we're telling this happened and this happened. No, what we're showing is the experience and how we overcame.
Yeah, which is why we have the reflections in the back of each chapter, so you can really work through it. It's not something that you have to rush through. So, like what you said, if you need to put it down, pause, but come back to it because it's gonna help you. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Um, um, but we appreciate you all. We just wanted to kind of just connect with you. We don't want to say too much because then we'll be reading the book to you. But we
Yeah.
want to thank you for joining this group. Um, we hope that we can build it and make it what you something that you can benefit from, and something that you're willing to share with others and invite people to join and also contribute. We love when you post. We love when you share scriptures or quotes or a motivational or even a GIF, something that makes us laugh for that day. But, please keep it coming. We want this group to be something that is, I don't want to call it a lifesaver, but something that really speaks life, if you will, to
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. And send your questions in, send them in, and we can do, these lives here and there just in support of you too. So,
Yeah. And
yeah.
definitely, next up, and probably in a month or so, we're going to have Kalima Johnson on, because she wrote an amazing foreword, and we have to shine a light on her. I almost wanted us to just delete all of our chapters, and we were just gonna publish the foreword by itself, um, because
It is
the letter
bomb.
forward.
It is bomb.
Yeah, I was like, "Ooh, okay." So when you read her forward, you're like, okay, you're gonna need a minute before you go into the chapters. That's all. But we're grateful to you, Kalima, for your support. We really do appreciate you, and I hope I have the honor of meeting you in person one day, so I can give you a nice hug.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. We were doing a book talk about for the let go, and someone mentioned the forward. They couldn't even get past the forward without asking questions about it. I was like, I know. So thank you, Kalima. We love you. We appreciate you.
Yes, yes. All right, y'all. Well, we're gonna sign off, because we don't have too much else that we want to share right now.
Yeah.
Um, but we want to say thank you for joining us for this short period of time. We know, before we leave, Alicia and I just wanted to give you all some encouragement during the holidays as well, because we know that this is a difficult time for people. And so if you are holding on to something and you're choosing to remain disconnected, we just want to send you some encouragement that, you know, that maybe this can be a time of reflection, of hope being restored, of healing, of faith being restored or increased during this time, just so that you know that there is something on the other side
Yes.
um, of
Yes.
this experience. And so don't think that this is the end. And so we're praying that this is a temporary thing for you in terms of how you are maneuvering in life right now. And so we just want to encourage you, and we hope that at some point you truly are able to move forward and let this experience go so that you can live well.
Yes. Yes. And what a good way to begin a new year, because we all want a new year. And so, forgiveness can be a good part of that journey if you do resolutions.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to sign off. We appreciate you all again. We love you. And we'll catch you in the chat. All right. Merry
Yeah.
Christmas, everyone, and
Merry
Happy New
Christmas, happy holidays, happy Kwanzaa, all of that good stuff.
all that good stuff. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Okay. I just stopped the live.
Okay. Whew.